So we continue the reading about the life of King David. Yesterday we heard about his sin with Bathsheba, committing the sin of adultery and covering it up with murder, murdering the husband of Bathsheba. And David thought that he got away with it, okay? Because he thought that nobody knew. He covered it up perfectly, right? But the thing is, whatever we do in secret, whatever we do in darkness, the Lord sees it in broad daylight. Okay? And the Lord sent Nathan to go to David to confront him. But if Nathan would just confront him directly about what he did with Bathsheba, David could just easily deny it, right? And the Lord gave these words of wisdom to deal with a specific issue or problem. This word of wisdom was given to Nathan, the prophet. And Nathan used this story of this rich man who stole from this poor man this one lamb in order to serve this one lamb for his guests. And David was angered. He was greatly kindled with anger about what happened. You see here what's happening here? David is suffering from a plank eye disease. From Matthew chapter 7, verse 3, where it says, it's so easy to judge the mistakes of others and difficult to recognize our own mistakes. Okay? And when Nathan said, you are that man, the word of the God is active and living. It could discern the thoughts of our minds and the intentions of the heart. And when David heard this, it cut through his heart. And what did he say? I have sinned against the Lord. He humbled himself and repented. And we see, even though he asked for forgiveness from the Lord, even though he repented, there will always be consequences to our sins. And the consequence of that sin is the death of this child. And the Lord loves David. He needed to do that. As a father disciplines his child. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 5 to 7, my son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor lose courage when you are punished by him. For the Lord disciplines him whom he loves, and chastises every son whom he receives. I hope we see ourselves in the life of David. How it's so easy for us to judge others' mistake. We see the splinters in the splinters in their eye, and then we don't see the plank in our own eye. So many times we just, I've sinned. Okay, I'll go to confession. And thinking that there should be no consequence to our sin. There is. There will always be consequence to our sin. Because consequence of our sin is not so much a punishment, but a discipline from the Lord. How do we handle those consequences of our sin? Do we resent against it? Do we rebel against God? Or do we accept it with great humility and great gratitude? This is the reason why God called David a man after his own heart. It doesn't mean that he did not commit any sin. But his heart is like there's a compass directed towards God. Whenever he sees himself wandering off, he goes back. He directs his heart towards to God again. And that's what we need to do. We need to be a man and a woman after God's own heart. That's why I'm offering this Mass to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Because Mary's heart is always directed towards God. And we need to imitate her. Yes, we would sin, but we would always have that commitment, Lord, I would like to go back. I commit myself again following you. Let's reflect in the life of David, and hopefully we would learn. Learn about humility. Learn about obedience. Learn about following the Lord, even though there are times when we wandered off. And hopefully we would hear God say to each and every one of us, this is a man and a woman after my own heart.